What's very important to remember is that likability is not an art. It's a science. I don't want anyone in this room to think, well, you've got to be attractive and have a good sense of humor and maybe be charismatic. The people that I have seen be successful in business that people like, they're different shapes, they're different sizes, they're different genders, they're different races, they're different ages, they come from all walks of life and all religions. It's not to do with any of that whatsoever. I have seen people that you might say, how on earth is that person a success? And I would say, because they are brilliant at the 85%. They are brilliant at the engineering part, the human engineering part. If you go to see a movie, you don't walk out and say to your buddy next to you, gee, who do you think was the criminal in that movie? Somebody name me a movie that everybody's seen. Name a movie that you think everybody would have seen. And bear in mind, there are some older ones of us in the room. Name a movie that everybody in this room would have seen. The Sixth Sense, maybe. The Pulp Fiction, maybe. A movie that I often have people say Jaws. Has everybody? I know it's an old movie. Have all of you seen Jaws? Okay. So here's a good thing. Jaws is an old movie. I know. Okay. Has everybody in the room seen Jaws? Pretty much, right? So you remember the guy who wanted to keep the stores open they were pretending it was Martha's Vineyard. I think it was supposed to be Long Island. Remember the guy, the shopkeeper that wanted to keep the stores open? How many people walked out of that movie and thought, I really liked him. Like, he was really the good guy. That was the best guy in the movie. Hollywood doesn't make mistakes. You don't walk out and one person thinks, wait a second, I can't remember. And of course, this is a very old movie. The Sound of Music. When you were little, I'm sure your parents probably had you watch it. How many people walk out of The Sound of Music and say, wait a second, was Maria really going to be a good mother, or was it the governess? I thought the governess maybe was warmer and she would have been the better mother. How many people got confused as a little child? Little children are very good at watching movies and determining who is the good guy and who is the bad guy. Why do you think that is? Because they are unfiltered with all of the things that we say makes you a good guy or makes you a bad guy, right? They have this innate ability to determine that. Hollywood doesn't make mistakes. I challenge you to look at the next movie, and by the way, when you turn on the television the next time, don't put the sound on. By the way, you'll drive everybody else in your dorm or your friends nuts. Just watch it for a few minutes and see who you like and you don't like, and pay attention to why do you like them and why do you dislike them? Again, we don't have time to go into all the reasons why people like people or dislike people, but we all pretty much actually come out the same as to why we like people. But in professional services and for your career, it is not going to be enough. There are plenty of failed, and I hate to use this profession, so I don't want to insult anyone that's going to go into this or anybody who's parents of this profession. There's plenty of failed salesmen, plenty of failed sales insurance people that everybody likes, and they'll golf with them. They like them. They don't do business with them. One day, you're going to be banking your money with somebody, all of your money. One day, you're going to be investing your money with someone. One day, you're going to want someone, when you're successful and you're a big CFO, if you're an accounting major, you're going to be a CFO of a major company, and you're going to have somebody in, and you're going to be interviewing a major global firm, and you might meet that CFO, and you might have really liked him or her when they were here at William & Mary. But likability is not enough when we're talking about professional services. What percentage did we say it was of your success? What percentage? Anybody remember? It's 15%. So 15% is huge, and it's critical. It's not everything. Likability is key, but it's not everything. Likability is only a component of that 85%. What is really important is trust. That's when I mentioned Stephen Covey's book. Stephen Covey's book is The Speed of Trust, and I implore you to read it. Stephen Covey talks about trust being the power of your personal impact. Remember this, when you leave William & Mary, you have a great brand behind you. That's going to help you, but it isn't enough. When someone meets you, it's the power of your brand as an individual person. They're going to look at you, and whether they trust you or not is going to be up to you as a person. They're going to look in your eyes, they're going to look at your resume, they're going to interview you, and they're going to want to suss out, do they trust you as a person? So what we have to do individually is to establish trust. And last but not least, you have to garner respect. That will be based on your technical competencies. It's 15% and it's huge and it's never to be denigrated. It's just that you can't get to it unless people like you and trust you. They just never get to that technical competency because there's always somebody else out there with just as good of a degree and just as good a technical competency. They have the two other things. They have to like you and trust you for you to be able to differentiate yourself, to win, and to generate the want.